As a blind climber and adventurer, sometimes I feel like a Jamaican bobsledder. You know, the words blind and climber, they don't even go together. It's like a force fit. And as a blind climber, I've struggled most of my adult life trying to figure out what it means to take on a no barriers mindset. And I think I got a little closer to understanding it last summer when I was leading a clinic for people with disabilities. We were hiking up a mountain. We had people with different kinds of challenges, people who had had strokes, who were using crutches, high-tech crutches, people who were blind using trekking poles, people with mobility problems, spinal injuries, who were using bikes to crank their way up with their arms. And the night before the clinic, Kyle showed up, Kyle Maynard. Kyle was born with no arms and no legs, and he wanted to take part in this hiking clinic. Well, we couldn't figure out a way for him to do that. But that night we scrambled and we came up with this ingenious idea. We went to his hotel room and we stole some bath towels and we got some packing tape and some closed-cell foam. And the next morning, his team pushed him to the base of the mountain in his chair, and he got out, and we wrapped the foam around his stumps and wrapped it up with bath towels and wrapped it all up with packing tape. And Kyle got out of his chair, and for the next 8 hours, he crabbed his way through mud, over rocks, through snow, and reached the top of a 12,000-foot mountain. See, I don't think it takes a lot to get started. I think you take some bath towels and some packing tape, and you combine that with the light of the human spirit, and we will go to amazing places. But I want to say something kind of shocking. I hate it when people tell me anything is possible, because that undermines all the hard work, all it takes to struggle through obstacles that want to knock you down and live a life that matters. If anything were possible, why aren't I racing NASCAR? Why isn't every team living up to its potential? I think obstacles are real. For instance, like I was in the airport just the other day, forget mountains, and I was walking along with my guide dog, and my dog didn't look up at this pole, and I bashed into it, and I fell down on my back, and my coffee went flying out of my hand, and blood is pouring down my face into my eyes. And I was not thinking, barriers are only in the mind. Nope, I'm pretty much convinced they're real, and they hurt. I wrote a book called The Adversity Advantage, and I teamed up with a co-author, Paul Stoltz. He's a scientist, and he had studied communities and organizations and companies around the world. And he found consistently that people fall into 3 categories. They're either quitters, campers, or climbers. Quitters are sort of self-explanatory, but campers are a really interesting group. They make up 80, sometimes 90% of an organization. They are people who reach a certain degree of success, and then they are confronted by these big obstacles that they can't figure out how to get through. They become like brick walls in their paths, or maybe these catastrophic changes that they don't feel equipped to break through. Or maybe they just say, hey, good enough. I've climbed as high as I want to go. What happens is they camp out on the side of the mountain, and personally they begin to stagnate, and their potential is lost to the world. While climbers are a rare group, they figure out a way to innovate, to evolve, to challenge themselves till the day they die. So what does it mean to live a no barriers mindset? It's not the absence of obstacles. It's simply a commitment to climb when it makes so much more sense, when it's so much easier to camp.